You're listening to the World's Team Podcast. It's not just America's team, Cowboys Nation. It's the world's team. Now, here are your hosts, Paul Stewart and Mike Poland.
How about them Cowboys?
What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the World's Team Podcast, brought to you by the Believe Network and sponsored by Cowboys Experience for the ultimate stadium tours, game tickets, tailgating, all the above. Be sure to go to www.cowboysexperience.com and use the discount code The World's Team. I'm your host, Paul Stewart, and with me, as always, is Mr. Mike Poland. And day two has concluded. The Cowboys had a fairly, somewhat quiet, yes, evening. It was like, I don't know how you would say it, Mike. Like, second round, nothing happened. But there was something that did happen, but technically something did happen. We did end up trading one of our picks later in the draft while the second round was going on. So we traded away one of our late round picks for linebacker Dee Winters coming from San Francisco. Now, Mike, hit me with it. Like, I mean, what's your thoughts on Dee Winters?
Yeah, I mean, I'll hit you with that. But what I was going to say is, yeah, I mean, people are saying, they didn't do anything or didn't move. For me, it's what they didn't do. I actually like that they held fast and they waited. A lot of tight ends were coming off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it coming off, which is totally fine. That's pushing more tight ends, more offensive, because we had a run in the third round of wide receivers as well. That's pushing all the defensive players down the list, which we needed. Now, the Dee Winters thing. They were linebackers that were starting to come off, obviously ones that they liked because they were guys we know that they were connected to. As soon as that started happening, we saw the trade come in. I actually like Dee Winters. He's a very, very interesting player. People are saying, can he play the mic, though? Well, we'll get to that in a moment because obviously we got Barham to talk about. Winters at San Francisco played the will and the mic. Basically, he's not built big enough to play the mic, but because he's such a high IQ player, he is able to play the mic because he's able to get into position. Brilliant sideline to sideline guy. You were talking, one of your pet cats, about
Jacob Rodriguez.
Jacob Rodriguez. Dee Winters really kind of fills that role. He fills that void in that position. So he's a brilliant sideline to sideline guy. Very quick, very rapid. What I really, really like, though, about Dee Winters is they don't need to do anything with his contract. He's still on his rookie contract, drafted in 2023. So there's room there to play. You've got room to see what you've got. And then if you decide to make him long-term, then you continue to do so. Had a brilliant season last year for the 49ers. I mean, he was pretty much all over the defense. He is versatile. He's got plenty of versatility to play with.
Yeah, he had, I believe he had like over 100 tackles last year.
101, yeah.
I mean, if it's a need, you are bringing in a veteran experience as well, rather than having to rely too much on a rookie. But in saying that, like, we have also acquired, like, well, at the draft, he was declared as an edge rusher, but the Dallas Cowboys did select with their 92nd pick as Jaishawn Barham.
Yeah,
I'm struggling to
Jaishawn Barham.
Yeah, I'm really struggling to say names today. It's like I mentioned on the last episode, and us covering on the UK Cowboys fans, like the sleep levels are really toasted right now, as you can see by my eyes. I'm absolutely drained to the high heavens. So, but yes, Barham, like, very interesting. And I know what everyone and I know what everyone's trying to say is that, oh no, another Michigan player. Now, which is a very unfair comment. Completely different type of player altogether, Mike. I would say, like, and I think he was more or less forced to play at edge at times as well, but he is definitely that off-ball type of linebacker you would like to have, I would say.
He has the frame for it.
And you can play him inside. Like, we have seen him playing as the actual blitzing linebacker coming down the middle as your Mike.
Yeah.
So you have seen that. So, and Brian Schottenheimer has announced, I believe, he will be playing inside linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be playing the mic. So we were sitting there going, they haven't addressed linebacker in the second round, but they have now. They've addressed it twice. So you've and we were saying double dip at linebacker is not a bad idea. Could probably see the same for cornerback. Good news is we've still got plenty of picks in day 3 to do that.
Yeah, and funny you mentioned that, like, your guy, Keontae Scott, is still available.
He's still there. Yeah.
Like, and obviously now everyone, the whole talk of the town now is what is going on with Jimmer McCoy. Well, we knew what was going on. He does require to have a cleanup surgery on his knee because of the cartridge, etc., which will take him another year out. But if it was, and here's the scary part, and I feel terrible for McCoy, if the surgery is not really that successful, that's his football career essentially over.
I mean, for such talent as well, you know, he's a talented cornerback.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, that's why teams are not willing to put that. Like, completely different scenario when you compare that to what we did with Siobhan Revell last year. Revell was just an ACL injury last year. So, and he recovered well. I'm expecting big things for Revel this year. Now he's got a whole year under his belt. He's like off-season program, strengthening up his body. But when it comes to like McCoy, like, yeah, he is very talented, but it comes with a much more greater risk. That's like, you can see why teams had him potentially going in the first round talent-wise, but the red flags were so clear. Like, will we even make it on the football field? Like, general and health concerns all across the board. But, I mean, what are your thoughts on it, Mike?
On Jimmy McCoy?
Yeah.
I feel for him. I mean, that's the bigger. He's still currently the highest prospect on my board by a long way. But, yeah, I mean, the apprehension, like, you didn't see in the combine, and I know we had Mickey Spagnola and said, oh, look, he didn't do the drills or whatever. He just did the running. Yeah, but the running looked fine. I mean, I didn't bother getting in because you know what Mickey's like, can be stubborn.
And yeah, just in case anyone is wondering, on the UK Cowboys fans live stream, we had DallasCowboys.com, Mickey Spagnola on the show. And he actually gave us quite a good bit of insight about the whole George Pickens scenario. What happened?
Go on, hit us with it, Paul.
So according to Ian Rappaport, the Cowboys contacted George Pickens, and we wanted to get clarification just to see what was going on, etc. with Mickey. And Mickey's like, no, it was the other way about. It was David Mulgeta that contacted Jerry and Steven to get the deal done because George just wants to play. He wants to play now because there is the potential risk he is going to miss out on that $27 million one-year contract. And no other team is coming in for him. That's the reason why. It wasn't Jerry and Steven. Like, obviously, Pickens needs to physically sign on the dotted line. Like, so it has been agreed that he is going to sign it, but you can't sign it like digitally. You need to be there in person. So that's why there's been conflicted reports saying, "Oh, has Pickens signed? Or do we have Pickens?" Pickens is going to be there. He just needs to be in Dallas physically to actually sign the actual paper itself.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, Mike. Like, from what I've seen from the mainstream media, saying it was the Cowboys that contacted, like, George Pickens, but we just got the actual full story from the horse's mouth, from inside the building, from Mickey Spagnola. He told us it was specifically David Mulgeta contacting Jerry and Steven in the front office to get, like, just sign it.
Yeah, just get it done. Yeah, but it made together and trying to figure that out and getting the wrong result. He said, but no, that is definitely what happened. So that was interesting. But going back to McCoy, yeah, you're all right. Yeah, I mean, the combine, you know, it showed everything was okay. The issue is is it's a major medical red flag at an extremely athletic position that is also tied to further surgery, which means that what does that do in terms of his athleticism? Because that really is one of his, like, why he's so good. The amount of power and burst that he has. Lose that, you lose what makes him special. And people are kind of apprehensive. But I do think he will get drafted on day 3. Day 3 is when these medical red flag guys get picked up. You know, you kind of like go, right, we'll just throw a dart. And if we haven't got him for the year and we've got to wait until 2027 for him, well, we've only used a 5th round pick. So it's okay. At least we've secured a guy.
I can see him being more of a 6th rounder as well, because they might still want to have someone to actually be on the field and compete. That's my whole argument, really. It's the fact that he might not actually be available to actually even compete. Some teams are that maybe that more desperate. I mean, even for us, like, I would like to have the guy actually there at training camp. If he's not going to be there at training camp, then what's the point of the pick? Because we want to win now rather than win next year.
Yeah.
So I mean, it really depends. Like, do I think McCoy will get picked? Probably.
He will.
But going back to the other guys available, I mean, you've got Keith Nabney from Arizona State. You've got Keontae Scott as well. I mean, there's still good available work with cornerbacks there. And you've got wide receivers as well. Bryce Lance from North Dakota State's there also.
I mean, like, now you're into day 3. Like, I'm quite happy to open up the range of what I you look for in a cornerback. You can really open it up. So now, a cornerback, you're talking about guys we drafted in our mock draft. Chandler Rivers from Duke. You got Charles Demings from SFA. You got Prysock from Washington, another really good name that you could go for. These are all guys now that you can really look toward, and they're all good names. I mean, Charles Demings, an absolutely solid cornerback. The issue obviously is because he just comes from it is a small school. I know people will say SFA isn't. They are, in terms of what's there. So you think, you know, what he was going up against. But I've always said this: at that level, you want to see, for a pro athlete that's coming into the NFL, if you're playing at that level of football, you want to stand out like a man playing amongst boys. And Demings definitely did that. Set records for Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, see, for me, Mike, going into day 3, which will begin within the next couple of hours. Obviously, we're recording before this. We will be recording our reaction to day 3 tomorrow. Yeah. For me right now, I'm open to anything. Like, if we can get one cornerback now and just basically see what best players are available and see what we've got, so it could be from offensive line to running back.
I think offensive line will be somewhere where they do look to go into.
Especially with one of those 4th rounders, I think, Mike. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like Drew Shelton from Penn State. That's a guy who's in play.
Yeah.
You know, Cage Casey.
And I'm not shying the idea of going defensive tackle as well.
Defensive tackle, I love the idea of getting a defensive lineman.
Yeah, I mean, one guy that we've talked about quite a fair bit, especially during the draft process in the combine, is St. Durant from Penn State. Like, that would be a great pick in the 4th round.
Yeah,
like I would love that. So, but yeah, very exciting stuff. But do
you want to talk about Barham though? We haven't talked
about him that much. I was going to jump into that there. But yeah, tell me more about Barham, man. Like, because a lot of Cowboys Nation are feeling on the edge, no pun intended, because we drafted another Michigan player. But after hearing our good friend Cowboy Chris from the Cowboys Up podcast, who is a massive Michigan fan,
he is.
Like, he knows everything about him. That definitely, like, because when it was announced that he is an edge, because I was getting conflicted. It's like, is he a linebacker? Is he an edge?
He's a linebacker.
But either way, it still fits in what Christian Parker's trying to do here.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it. Is he an edge? Is he a linebacker? Okay, he's an outside linebacker. Okay, Cowboys are going to 3-4 defense. Perfect. There we go. So perfectly. He is a good player. Last season, 32 tackles, 10 tackles for a loss, 4 sacks as well. He's a big lump. He's a lump of a guy when you look at him. It's deceptive how big he actually looks. But he can move. I mean, chasing running backs from behind the line, getting up behind them quickly. I mean, it's some rare run defense that he has.
The one thing I really liked about when I was watching some of his tape is just he does not stop and he really hits hard. Like he's a hard tackler. Like,
yeah.
He knows how to wrap up and really lay down the thunder. And what I love about, especially playing more the inside linebacker role, he really fits that mold of that blitz. Like he's got the body for it. He's not undersized. He's he's got that right physicality to play that position to blitz the offensive line and cut inside like the A gap, for example. That is when I was watching the tape, I was like, okay, right. Now I fully understand why Dallas went with Barham with this pick, which makes perfect sense. Like, and when you combine that, what we did with Dee Winters, you've got the one with the more side to sideline type of linebacker, and you've got the more you've got the thunder and lightning effect,
and then throw in what Marvin Overshown is,
exactly. So I'm feeling quite happy what we've done here, like especially with linebacker. I mean, if you were to grade it, I would give it a solid B+ in that regard. I mean, obviously we missed it on some of the bigger names out there. Like obviously there was Rodriguez, C.G. Allen, etc. But there's still some other good linebackers that could be available just to add some more depth as well. Like there's Bryce Botcher from Oregon. There's
Elam
Zor, and one of the big names, obviously, who has had a 30-day visit with the Dallas Cowboys is Howard Perkins Jr. from LSU. Yeah. So that's one name to keep an eye out for.
Yeah. I mean, like, yes, it wouldn't surprise me. Like, so if they did get one of those names on day 3, I wouldn't be opposed to it. At the same time, which is something that's understated with Barham, is you need linebackers for your special teams. Good thing is Barham is a special teams enforcer. Yeah. It all comes down to that because he's so explosive. The burst it's crazy. Versatility is probably the big thing with him because they can use schematic deception with Barham because where are you putting him? Because he can move in the box so much. He becomes a sneaky piece that you can use. The only thing I will say that's negative about him is the pass rush polish. It needs to be cleaner. He's more of just I'll win with aggression.
Too raw.
Yeah. And he can be at the same time because it's all 100 miles an hour with him. The pursuit angles can be bad, and people are complaining about the fact that he has 17% missed tackle rate. Which is bad. Yeah, when you think what was the problem the Cowboys had last year was tackling. But it's not that he won't tackle or he can't tackle. It's his pursuit angles that he gets at. When he's in the right spot and he's lined up right, that play's going down. And they're going down hard. It's more of the angles with him that can be an issue.
To me, and I'm going to use my WWE references here, but it kind of reminds me of Jacob Fatu. All gas, no brakes.
Yeah, he is a bit like that.
That's what it kind of reminds me of in that way. So if you're a wrestling fan and you get that reference, then that's basically what Barham is in that way. That's the somewhat negative. It's that minor self-control. So, but either way, for a third round, it's still a great pick for a third round.
Fills a need perfectly. Absolutely. Special teams. Run defense, a body at linebacker. You just tick boxes.
And if he is going to be playing that inside role as an inside linebacker,
he will be.
I think in terms of his straight down speed, playing that linebacker blitzing, you can forget about the angles part. You're actually playing more to his strengths if that's the case. So, and that's why I was like, oh, very interesting in what Brian Schottenheimer said that actually. So keep an eye out for that one, folks. But What do you think? And before we finish up, Mike, like, do you think we will maybe get one more linebacker? Because that is obviously the deprived position right now.
Yeah, either a linebacker or one of these lighter defensive end edge rushers that you can use a bit of versatility to hop around with, because that seems to be where they're going at the moment. When you look at their picks, versatility, I would say, is the key word. You know, when you think of what Caleb Downs is like, Malachi Lawrence to a degree, definitely with Barham, there's a theme of versatility coming in here.
And leadership qualities as well, which is the same from last year.
Mm. And even if you look at Dee Winters, he's a versatile linebacker in terms of where you can place him. So it seems to definitely have a theme going on at the moment in this year's draft. So if they do decide to go linebacker, I'm totally fine with it, as long as they
get one corner.
They need to get that cornerback. If it's Charles Demings, I'm over the moon.
Yeah, Demings, Keontae Scott.
Keontae Scott, if he falls far enough, yeah, I mean, I'm jumping up and down.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, is there any other position you would not like to see?
Tight end now. Tight end's gone. Because there was so many tight ends that were taken. I'm like, nah, I'm out.
I literally lost count of how many tight ends went in that second and third round. I think at least 10
went. That's a lot.
Like, I was like, jeez. And I believe when we were having our good friend Sean Martin from bloggingtheboys.com on the UK Cowboys fans live stream, it was just like, there's a tight end going. There's a tight end going. It was like, what the hell?
It just kept coming, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Mike, we'll be doing, like I said, we will be doing live for the start of day 3. We'll be covering it. I will, however, will be kind of popping on to the Cowboys Can Fan show just to say hello to the guys and share my thoughts on that as well. So feel free to swing by there as well. But I mean, it's almost at the end, Mike. All this hard work of looking onto these players is almost done for another year.
Beautiful, yeah. And yes, so we'll be all done, all dusted. Then it's looking at the UDFAs. They always excite me. I'll do scouting reports on the UDFAs. I love it.
Funny you mentioned about undrafted free agents. There's one name that we were quite surprised we did not know anything about, and that was Tingle. He could be one of those undrafted free agents.
It's possible, yeah.
Keep an eye out for that one. So, all right, folks, we will see you on the live stream later today. We will see you guys tomorrow, giving you our recap of day 3 and our overall assessment of the NFL draft for the Dallas Cowboys, and even highlighting of all the undrafted free agents also. So, but be sure to hit that like button, share, and follow us on all of our social media. But before we do go, Mike, please tell everyone where everyone can find you.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter or X at Kenford Cowboy. That's Kenford with a K, Cowboy with a K. And you, Mr. P.
Find me at IMP on X and Instagram. All right, folks, enjoy the last day of the NFL draft. Just like to say thank you to everyone that has tuned in and shared our videos and watched everything so far. I know it sounds a bit weird for 2 people coming from outside of the US talking about the NFL draft, but that's what's so intriguing about this. It's like, we just want to bring Cowboys Nation global. That's what it's all about. But what we always say here on the World's Team, it's not just America's team, it is the World's Team. We'll see you guys next time.
That's a wrap on the World's Team Podcast. Smash that like button and hit subscribe, Cowboys Nation. This ain't just America's team, it's your team.
Touchdown!
It's the World's Team, only on Believe, where real fans live.
How about them Cowboys?